Hi guys, welcome! In this video, we'll talk about the Taekwon class, which is coming this month to C, Global, and EU servers. Taekwon can deal lethal amounts of damage with their auto attacks and kick skills. In this guide, we'll explore Taekwon's star build for PvE, which relies on auto attacks to trigger kick skills. Although this build utilizes auto attacks, most of the damage will still come from the kick skills, so ignore def and skill damage will be more important than crit damage and AA damage. We'll talk about which stats, skills, runes, gears, cards, and upgrades are needed for this build to prepare you before the job class arrives. Alright, without further ado, let's begin. First, let's take a look at the important stats to upgrade. For attribute point distribution, max out Agi first to achieve the max attack speed, which is very important to trigger kick skills more often. And with the body and mind S rune, which is the core rune for the star build, every 10 Agi will increase the damage of kick skills by 0.1 to 1%. Next, if you have mastering star card, then max out luck to increase crit rate and physical damage, then put the rest on strength for boosting physical attack. But if you're going to use either a Vagabond Wolf star card or Chucky Tree star card, then max out strength first and put the remaining points on luck. As for damage multipliers, prioritize increasing attack percent, melee physical damage, physical penetration, ignore def, skill damage, damage to MVP, and damage to large size. In addition, boosting your raw AA attack will increase the damage of kick skills due to the Fighting Chant passive skill. You won't need to increase your crit damage and AA damage since most of the damage would still come from the kick skills. Each stat's effectiveness may vary depending on your gears and the target's properties, so it's a good idea to have a balanced stat distribution. Up next for skills, here's a recommended skill point allocation. First, for the Taekwon Advanced second job skill tree, prioritize putting points on the following skills. First, get level 10 Fighting Chant, which boosts your AA attack by 300 for every party member on the same map. As said earlier, raw auto attack power can increase the damage of kick skills. And with this S rune, Fighting Chant can further increase your raw attack and max HP. This passive will also apply to your non-Taekwon teammates if the third line is activated. Next, put 1 point each on Peaceful Rest and Happy Rest as a prerequisite for level 1 Warm Wind. This is similar to Soulbinder's Warm Wind, which allows you to convert the element of your skills to wind, earth, water, fire, holy, dark, and ghost. There's even an Acer rune that boosts wind, earth, water, and fire damage by 15%. Then get level 5 Running for plus 30% movement speed. This buff lasts for 5 minutes but will be cancelled after attacking. You can use the second line of this A rune to maintain the buff for a few seconds even after attacking. Next, get level 5 High Jump, which is a displacement skill that lets you jump up to 9 meters, passing through any obstacle in its path. So it's a good skill for chasing and escaping. Take note that High Jump is disabled in some instances. After that, we have level 10 Round Kick, which is an AoE kick skill that deals physical damage to all enemies within 3 meters. It is only the kick skill that can be used in place without locking monsters. With these runes, its damage will increase when your movement speed is greater than 150%, and it also applies a debuff which reduces a target's raw def. Then get level 10 Axe Kick, which is a single target kick skill that has a 100% chance to stun the targets for 3 seconds. However, the stun effect and its AC rune effect are not that important in PvE. Next, you need to max out both Round Stance and Axe Stance to level 10, which grants 15% chance to trigger Round Kick or Axe Kick when doing auto attacks. You need to ensure that both stances are enabled to trigger the kick skills. In order to reduce the delay when kick skills are proc, it's mandatory to activate the third line effect of the Body and Mind S rune. This will make the animation of triggered kick skills move faster according to your attack speed. Here's a comparison of the triggered kick skills with versus without the third line. A high value for the first line is also a priority, as every 10 Agi will improve the damage of your kick skills by 0.1 to 1%. So with 300 points of agi and max first line effect, you will gain 30% damage increase for your kick skills. And lastly, get level 3 Flying Sidekick as a prerequisite for level 4 Break Fall. This passive skill increases flee and the chance to dodge range physical damage and magic damage. With these runes, Break Fall will grant more flee, crit rest, and agi. There's also a special effect in the Aesir wherein you'll recover 15% of your lost HP whenever you successfully dodge an attack. Up next for the Star Gladiator 3rd job, the most important skills to get are as follows. First, get level 1 Hatred of the Sun, which allows you to mark a target. With level 10 Anger of the Sun and the related S rune, the damage dealt to the marked target will increase by 50% up to 80%. As an example, when I marked the Wilderness Piranha plant with Hatred of the Sun, the damage I dealt to all monsters of the same name significantly increased. Next, put points on level 1 Hatred of the Moon and level 6 Anger of the Moon to mark one monster. This is more of a defensive buff which reduces the damage you receive from the marked target. However, this cannot coexist with Hatred of the Sun. After that, get level 5 Comfort of the Sun and Moon, which grants immunity to physical damage on odd numbered days or immunity to magic damage on even numbered days. If the third line of this S rune is activated, it will grant Endure effect, which is useful if you don't have an Edgar card. This buff lasts for 12 to 18 seconds with the second line of this S rune. Thus, it greatly improves Taekwon's survivability. Then we have level 5 Union of the Sun, Moon, and Stars, which, when enabled, will increase your damage to monsters by 30%. The drawback is that first, it will reduce your HP by 2% for each attack, and second, you will die instantly if you attack with less than 20% HP left. This will even bypass the effect of anti-fatal food. So you need to always keep an eye on your HP bar while attacking and use honey or Yggdrasil berry whenever your HP is near 20%. Lifesteal from Cobalt Leader card and the Map of Heaven and Stars weapon will also be useful to maintain a high HP all the time. I also think the Horn of the Unyielding Ancient Relic will be really valuable for Taekwons to reduce the damage received to just 50% of your max HP. Next is level 10 Nova Explosion, which is a kick skill that deals physical damage and HP loss. The damage and HP loss effect can be further increased with these runes. Another kick skill is level 7 Flash Kick, which deals physical damage that jumps to up to 6 enemies. And with this Aesir rune, the damage will increase for each jump. After that, max out both Nova Stance and Flash Stance to level 5, which grants a 15% chance to trigger Nova Explosion and Flash Kick when doing auto attacks. And lastly, put the 5 remaining points on Warmth of the Stars for additional source of damage. And lastly, for the Apocalypse 4th job, prioritize putting Time Quicksand on these skills. First, get level 10 Meteor Phantom for plus 10% attack speed and movement speed. Then get level 1 Star Stance, which has a total of 5 constellations which you can light up every time you cast or trigger a kick skill. There's a 60% chance to light up a star, and the chance decreases by 10% for each time a star is lit up, so it will be more difficult to light up the last few remaining stars. Next, we have level 10 Vientiane Starfall, which is the primary burst damage kick skill for the star build. It applies a star mark to an enemy, which will drop falling stars every second onto random enemies within 5 meters. The number of falling stars will drop per second, and the duration depends on the number of stars lit up by Star Stance, so it's best to have all 5 stars lit up before attacking. The enhancement skill of Star Stance will also grant 15% chance to drop a Vientiane Starfall falling star when doing auto attacks. The Galaxy Crash Star rune will be mandatory for this build to further boost its damage. However, it will be a pain to activate both second and third lines, so just prioritize getting a high first line with either the second or third line effect. Next, we have level 10 Astrological Resonance, which increases physical damage by 5% for every lit star, and its enhancement skill is a good defensive buff. And lastly, we have level 5 Piece of the Stars, which is a defensive buff that you can use when all 5 stars are lit. It makes you immune to all negative effects for 12 seconds and can even heal 5% of your max HP per second if the date is a multiple of 5. Up next, let's discuss the most important runes to get. For Acer Monument, these are the vital nodes that boost Taekwon's damage. The damage to large size will be helpful in triggering the inside effect of Minora's card. It's also a must to get the 5-star retrograde nodes, which unlocks the star retrograde skill. This gives Taekwon survivability in battle, as you will gain a 1-second immunity to damage while returning to the position you were at 5 seconds ago. Its related advanced rune will extend its duration, grant a chance to clear all negative effects on self, and even restore your HP to what it was 5 seconds ago. But do take note that similar to High Jump, Star Retrograde is also disabled in some instances. For advanced runes, Taekwons are heavily rune dependent, so it's encouraged that you save enough runes to get the essential S and Star runes. The most important core rune is the Body and Mind S rune with high values on the first 2 lines and activated 3rd line. This will remove the triggered kick skills animation and make it similar with your attack speed. Second is a Galaxy Crash Star rune with high first line damage and both the 2nd and 3rd lines activated. This is the most difficult rune to get, so just prioritize high first line damage and any of the 2 lines. Third is the Hatred of the Star S rune with high value on the first line for a huge damage buff on target's mark with Hatred of the Sun. Getting the 3rd line will also be useful for boss hunting. Fourth is the Nebula Cataclysm S rune with high value on the 2nd line and activated 3rd line. This will increase your survival and let you ignore the enemy's flee and shield when attacking. Fifth is the Anger of the Stars with high value on the 1st line and the 3rd line activated. This can trigger an additional union of Sun, Moon, and Stars that does not consume HP. And last is the Sun and Moon Guardian S rune with the 3rd line activated, which grants Endure effect when Comfort of the Sun and Moon is active. And lastly, for attribute runes, prioritize leveling up the following. Up next, let's dive into the gears, cards, and other upgrades. First, for weapon, the best in slot is a plus 15 Heaven and Stars, enchanted with Sharp Blade 4 and High PDI, and inlaid with Drake Star and or Minor Star cards, since most MVPs are of large size. The materials for crafting and synthesizing the new weapon are as follows. For offhand, get a Dragon Bone Shield with 18% physical damage random stat, enchanted with Armor Breaking 4 or High PDI, and inlaid with Alistar card. But if you still lack Ignore Death, you may opt to use a Voodoo Blade instead. For armor, you can use a Voodoo Armor with 15% pen or 20% damage to large random stat and enchanted with High PDI. You may also use a Dream Eater's Disguise with 20% elemental damage random stat, especially against MVPs with very high elemental reduction, such as in Oracle Elite 9 and Legend instances. For armor card, you may use a Heart card or Moonak Star card if you don't want to switch cards, but you may also inlay any of these cards for specific MVPs. For garment, you can use the Brave Warrior's Pauldron with 12% skill damage random stat, enchanted with High PDI and inlaid with Mastering Star card. For footgear, it's recommended to use the Dragon Slayer War Boots with 6% pen, enchanted with High PDI and inlaid with the Moonlight Flower Star card. For accessories, you may use any of these 3 depending on the stat you're lacking. Pendant of Yujin for attack percent and physical damage, Void Crystal for Ignore Death and physical damage, or Gold Earring for raw attack and pen. Accessories should be enchanted with Sharp Blade 4 and High PDI and inlaid with 1 Greatest General card plus any of the following cards. For headwear, these are my top options for each slot. As for other upgrades, prioritize the following guild buffs: Oracle Mirror Extract, and Ancient Relic. Also, don't forget to improve your handbook and get multi-jobs. Finally, let's take a look at the battle setup for using Taekwon in boss hunting and clearing instances. First, make sure that the following skills are in the auto and manual skill slots. Also confirm that all the stances are enabled to trigger kick skills while auto-attacking. Then use the following consumables that will help boost your damage. Before starting, light up first all 5 stars. This can be done by manually casting Round Kick, as this is the only kick skill that can be casted without locking on a target. The chance to light up a star decreases the more stars you already lit up, so you need to check the status bar if you have lit up all 5 stars already. In a future update, the star stacks will be visible below your SP bar. This preparation step is very important since the more stars you have, the higher the damage and the longer the duration of the Vientiane Starfall, which is the primary burst damage skill. Once you've lit up all 5 stars, cast Warm Wind to change the element of your attacks and Warmth of the Stars for additional source of damage. Then mark the boss with Hatred of the Sun for increasing damage. After that, cast Vientiane Starfall and start auto-attacking. You may also opt to cast Comfort of the Sun and Moon and Peace of the Stars for survivability, especially if the date is a multiple of 5. Make sure to recast Vientiane Starfall manually whenever you gain 5 stacks while auto-attacking. For dodging, you may use High Jump and then Star Retrograde to return to your original position. However, these 2 skills are disabled in some instances. So that's it for the Taekwon star build for PvE. I hope this video has helped you in your journey in the world of Ragnarok Mobile Eternal Love. Feel free to leave a comment if you have any question or suggestion. Alright, that's it for this video guys. Don't forget to like if you enjoyed watching this guide. If you're new here, I would love you to consider subscribing by hitting the subscribe button down below. I would love to have you back. Thank you for watching and see you in our next episode.